this, known as de-stroking, by removing a power stroke and inserting a cant. And it will still be paired to the 6-speed manual transmission.
You don't like the rest?
Oh, that fucking stinks. I'm amazed it didn't shoot anything. Like, there's literally nothing that got chewed in here. They just pooped inside the battery box.
Actually, I'm not even mad. It's amazing.
These manual transmission equipped F-350s with the Power Stroke diesel actually have a transmission cooler built into the radiator, like you can see on an automatic transmission. It's not often you see a transmission cooler from manual, but to remove the lines, it requires this special tool right here. It looks a lot like a fuel line removal tool, except it's much thinner and made out of metal, so it's a lot more durable. We pretty much did this where Angel did everything below the frame and I did everything up above it for the most part. It just was easier.
I mean, you had to deal with the rat smell the whole day. So
I did, and my throat hurts now.
This tiny device has changed the way I eat breakfast every day. What is Zoe?
So the reason why this engine is coming out now, because Charlie bought this other 2003 F-250 with a blown-up 6-liter in it. Someone put some cheap aftermarket glow plugs in, and it dropped one in the number 8 cylinder and put a hole in the piston. And unlike the 6-liter that was in that F-250, this one has never been modified, nor will it ever be modified. It's going to be just a bone stock 6-liter to make that truck perfectly running and serviceable again. Weird. It's like this cab has been off before. The inside of this cab is super mint. It's got all brand new rubber flooring in it. What cab bolt? What the fuck is this bolt there? What?
Yeah. The 24's on the left side, the 21's on the right side.
Why?
Don't ask me why, I don't know.
the fronts are 18.
Yes.
A few random junkyard scores ago, we put a set of 2007 F-350 power seats in this thing and modified them that they can be used with a Milwaukee battery when the battery is disconnected on the truck. I can neither confirm nor confirm that was an intentional modification. It's a strange cab bolt. Just when it seemed like this project of removing the cab was going all too smoothly, we obviously had to have something catastrophic wrong to discover. I just discovered something that there's no way I could have seen when we bought this truck, and is a major setback financially. There is a massive hole in the transmission casing in the bell housing area by the clutch. So yeah, it needs a new transmission casing, and that's not a cheap transmission. On that. It's metal. It's connected to the downpipe, but now stay on the frame. Why did I grab a breaker bar? It'll obviously have to get modified to work with a straight 6-liter. That's out of the way.
問題は解決されました。
All in all, it took about 3 hours worth of work to remove the cab from this 2005 Super Duty, and I would have to say if you were ever to do a major engine service on one of these, it's way easier to just pull the cab. Oh, that engine is in Charlie's possession to get cleaned up and stick in that other truck. The hard part. It's time to really clean up this frame. But the magic of time lapse, a little bit of chemistry, the frame was completely clean. Mission accomplished. Angel and Charlie have been putting the engine back in this truck. So this could be a running and driving truck after you finish the rest of the gaskets tomorrow.
STC fitting. The STC fitting's all the way back here under the HPOP cover, under the turbo. So it's super easy to get to now. It's really hard to get to later, so I'm just going to do it.
And then $4,000 truck has turned into $15,000 truck. Oh, that could have seen when we bought this truck. For you when the battery is disconnected on the truck. Haha. I can neither confirm nor confirm that was an intentional modification. It's a strange cab bolt. Just when it seemed like this project of removing the cab was going all too smoothly, we obviously had to have something catastrophically wrong get discovered. I just discovered something that there's no way I could have seen when we bought this truck, and is a major setback financially. There is a massive hole in the transmission casing in the belt housing area by the clutch. So yeah, it needs a new transmission casing, and that's not a cheap transmission. Angel, you can't use teeth on that. It's metal. Disconnect the downpipe. For now, this can stay on the frame. Why didn't I grab a breaker bar? It'll obviously have to get modified to work with a straight 6 later. That's out of the way. Listen to play so you don't get squished. Okay, Angel squished me. I'm gonna run out of lifting on you in a minute. I can't fudge that. There you go. All in all, it took about 3 hours worth of work to remove the cab from this 2005 Super Duty, and I would have to say if you were ever to do a major engine service on one of these, it's way easier to just pull the cab. Oh, that engine is in Charlie's possession to get cleaned up and stick in that other truck. The hard part. It's time to really clean up this frame before the cab goes back on. With the magic of time-lapse, a little bit of chemistry, and a lot of elbow grease, the frame was completely clean. Mission accomplished. Now that I've finished breathing in harsh chemicals and getting goo in my face, Angel and Charlie have been putting the engine back in this truck.
Rear main seal's done. Timing cover's done.
So this is going to be our running and driving truck after he finishes the rest of the gaskets tomorrow.
And the new glow plugs and STC fitting. The STC fitting's all the way back here under the H-pop cover, under the turbo. So it's super easy to get to now. It's really hard to get to later, so I'm just going to do it.
And then $4,000 truck has turned into $15,000 truck.
It's super easy to get to now. It's really hard to get to later, so I'm just going to do it.
And then $4,000 truck has turned into $15,000 truck.
This fantasy football game has 500,000 up for grabs. Footballers like Griezmann, Frankie de Jong and Dembele will be playing. So Rare is a game that I've played for over 3 years, and they've announced their biggest prize pool yet. From the end of November, they're putting an extra $50,000 in the prize pool every single weekend until February. And you can even win VIP football tickets and signed jerseys. To get involved, sign up using the link in my channel. You'll get £20 credit to spend on cards, and I'll get a little too.
Knockoff batteries, little is complicated and must stood a chance until energized.
Moving on, day 3. I want to take care of something before I drop the cab back down onto the frame, because from here it's going to go straight to getting bodywork and painted. This is all nice and clean. Now to the surface, it's crusty, but it's clean-ish. Oh no, that's a stain on my finger. It's clean. As much as I would love to sandblast this frame and powder coat it or paint it like I did the Ranger frame, this isn't a full restoration, and this truck is not going to be on that level. Somebody's be like, you're not doing this right. You need to sandblast first. You must think I have a limited budget. This is rust. Surface rust, because this isn't a mine where they use a slurry that is slightly corrosive. Even on the worst areas, it's not even flaky. Like this is just barely what I would consider rust. Some of these areas are just raw, bare steel still. That's amazing. A little bit of wax and grease remover since this sat underneath the truck overnight and got dripped on. Scotch Brite. For those of you that live in winter environments and that use road salt, I do not live in one of those environments. We don't really even have a winter, so corrosion is a zero issue unless you're working in a mine where they use corrosive agents. This is 100% necessary for what I'm about to do because this stuff is terrible to breathe. No. It's like opening a can of beans that will make your stomach weak. This stuff is literally like rubber cement. It just bonds everything together. Look at this. Oh my god. Like, I did kind of clean inside there, too. It's stuck on the inside of the can. That is ridiculous. I have to get a new paint We're fast chocolate. Normally I'm not an advocate for using a paintbrush because it leaves hideous brush marks and it looks crappy. But because it self-levels and this is a textured surface to begin with, it actually turns out fairly decent looking. Like when I did my sister's Xterra, it looks great after. And it's still held up even though this is sensitive to UV because it's on a frame and it's under the truck. It doesn't really get exposed to light as much. But what it does is it chemically bonds to the rust and it makes it inert. It's a delicate balance. You gotta get it right where it starts to rust and like really thin and a super wet coat and then it will self-level. Other than that, that's just little dry spots. Getting it inside all these little holes is pretty annoying. Yeah, this part is not gonna go fast in here. What?
目前に魚雷
As much as I would love to have done this in the paint booth with the paint gun, it would have took at least another day to a day and a half of prep alone and really wouldn't have netted that much better of a result considering this is just a work truck. And also there's something oddly therapeutic about watching this stuff get applied. It's like the same as mowing grass or vacuuming triangles into a carpet. Notice I said triangles and not lines because lines are weird. I don't know who actually does that. Still on my original paintbrush. It's of a result considering this is just a work truck. And also there's something oddly therapeutic about watching this stuff get applied. It's like the same as mowing grass or vacuuming triangles into a carpet. Notice I said triangles and not lines because lines are weird. I don't know who actually does that. Still on my original paintbrush. It's still holding strong. So it's higher frame. A little bit of Loctite nut bolt. That'll be fun to take off later. It's actually not that bad. I've taken bolts off and stuff on it. I think there's progress happening over here. How's this coming along?
I think it already has the updated fitting info.
What fitting?
The STC fitting.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but better safe than sorry.
Even though Charlie's plan is to flip this truck and try to recuperate some money, he's still going through this 6-liter and upgrading and updating some stuff to make it less failure prone.
But the number one killer of these trucks is people putting tuners on them. Go figure.
So you just leave it stock and update it. They should last.
Every single person I've ever known that was super happy with their 6-liter truck that had a bunch of miles on it, it was bone stock.
This stuff takes like 24 hours to dry, but we gotta set the cab back down. Luckily, the things in which it sits on were not painted. I don't know what's anything because it's still wet back here, but these plates right here, this angle iron and this big strap on the top of the frame, these need to get removed because this is not gonna get a service box again. I'm gonna try to fabricate a custom aluminum tray for the back of it because I don't know if you ever looked up how expensive those things are, but they cost as much as a used pickup truck, so I'm gonna have to make it myself. Also, from the company that used to own this truck, they extended the frame about that much with this big bumper. That has to go, so it's gonna get cut off right here. Slight problem. Those are also welded along the very top. So those aren't coming off, and I wanted to try to paint behind them while this is still a little bit tacky. I know some of you are angry because I didn't wait till it's dry to try to remove that, but I have to try to paint underneath there, and it made more sense to do it while it's still tacky. If I could have got this off, I could have just kind of touched up. Yeah?
Yeah.
It's still, where it's glossy, it doesn't look the greatest, but when it dries satiny, right? Well, that's a lot nicer than when it started. You can see right here on the side of the frame where it's starting to get that satin finish because it's drying. The back of it's super wet still, but that's how it's gonna look once it's dry. You can see up close, there's no brush marks. It's just got the dimpled texture of the metal. And no, it's not gonna keep this bumper. It's gonna get a new bumper, preferably one that fits the needs that's in here of what this truck will look like when it's done. But I might do one more video on this for you guys before I get back to work on the selling pack. Quite a few parts have arrived for it, so I can get a lot more progress made, but I just wanted to get the ball rolling on the system to get it. But it has a flat bed. It's cute. It's got a flat bed. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you soon in another video. Bye.
thousands of stocks and ETFs. Set your goals and invest automatically. Adjust at any time. Start now with Trading 212.
急激に水が入り込んできています。
Hello, people of the world of the internet watching videos that have to do with automobiles. Welcome to this. It's time to say goodbye to the Celica Supra. I don't want to film this part. I'm going to get teary-eyed. So it took a little while for me to be able to do this just because, as you guys know, I do almost everything on this channel entirely by myself. But the car is now finally ready to go to its new owner in Texas. And today is the day that I ship it off. Please, guys, they're taking pictures of the car to make sure it's clean and I'm not delivering a dirty car. I did my best. I had to drive it like 20 feet in wet asphalt. I'm being sarcastic right now. I paid for an enclosed trailer to haul it just because I didn't want it to be on a regular car hauler because the car's really low, and also I didn't want it to get dirty. That's important when you're giving someone a car. You don't want to give them a job. Like, here's your new car. Now clean it. It's bittersweet. It's happy because someone won this. It's sad because I really liked this car. Goodbye, frog.
Yes.
Alright, down. It's amazing how many times I've been able to reuse these clipper tools. Alright, down.
最先端春菜行くよ
It's amazing how many times I've been able to reuse these clipper tools. Outside. Late. So I am the original owner of my 2015 Forester XT. I bought it at the end of 2014 when they first came out, and I installed a 3M clear bra on it when it was only 2 weeks old myself. It was a huge pain to do, but you can see here in the side shot, especially after 9 years, it's starting to yellow a bit. Genuine STI parts. This one should be quick and easy, so I'll knock it out first. It's a genuine part for the Subaru Forester STI TS, not sold in the United States. When I bought this thing, I was still active in the Air Force, so I couldn't exactly afford the expensive parts from Japan. It might look like the real thing, but this is set clear plastic in. On the US market, Forester XT, this part is chrome, and I hate chrome. See how it's peeling? It's because it's just plastic dip. Oh my god, that's dirty. I can't have that. Look up close. You can't replicate the real thing the same. For those of you that appreciate the excessive, see how it's peeling? It's because it's just plastic dip. Oh my god, that's dirty. I can't have that. Look up close. You can't replicate the real thing the same. For those of you that appreciate the excessive attention to detail I take here to make sure this is done correctly, this is for you. Wow, that's sharp. These also are not genuine Subaru parts. These are Alibaba. While those may be knockoffs, they are replicas of a genuine Subaru part. These are the real deal, which was a factory part offered on the Japanese market Forester SJ. While those may be knockoffs, they are replicas of a genuine Subaru part. These are the real deal, which was a factory part offered on the Japanese market Forester SJG, known as the accessory liner LED. I mean, look at that wiring. It even has the genuine foam on it. That's how you know it's good stuff. Cleaner.
再構築を試みる
How did a bug get behind that? Tech tip. If you're buying parts for your vehicle to change and enhance
ナノマテリアルによる欠損
keyword cant, a little bit of quick detail spray, and you don't clean the detail around those parts when you install them, what's the point? Clean. Genuine Subaru part versus cheap knockoff. There's a huge difference in the quality between the genuine Subaru one and the knockoff aftermarket one. Massive difference in quality. This looks more like the OEM bezel that was there in the bumper from the factory. Yeah. Oh, that looks so much better. The genuine Subaru ones are held in with actual metal brackets. I've always been conflicted with buying replicas of expensive parts because I feel you're taking sales away from the companies that put a lot of engineering and effort into making those higher quality original components. Even though this is a genuine Subaru part, it didn't come with any instructions. Not that it would help anyway because I can't read Japanese. But I do have digital instructions on the interwebs. Subaru even has prescribed routing and locations for the zip ties. Take off the aftermarket one. So if I do this, oh, it's got bends strategically. Aha! Zip tie right here. Make sure this is nice and clean. Stick one of these in the middle. These things just hold zip ties. They're like a zip tie bridge. Don't worry, we'll make it smooth. Nice clean routing because it's a Subaru part for a Subaru. That's actually the lower piece behind the beam. Slight adjustment, moving these guys down here. That way you don't see it through the opening of the grille. Luckily, I had extra because Subaru engineers understand sticky things stick to things that aren't meant to be stuck to. Yeah, there you go. Now you can't see it. Had I left those where I did, you would have been able to see them if you looked through this slot, which is, yeah. I need to order some genuine Subaru clipper noodles because they're getting kind of tired. And the most satisfying part, putting these little brand new bezels on. Yeah.
Etsy has stunning home items from small businesses that never fail to make a statement. Etsy has home. Shop now.
There you go. Now the second day in this video, and I got some more stuff to do on the inside, as well as the wiring. Old wiring. I mean, at least I did a clean install with the aftermarket one. And thankfully, unlike the aftermarket one, this requires no additional connections within the engine bay to keep things waterproof. Alright, the key. Where's that key go to? Now this is what I did not like about having the aftermarket one. It's powered just by using a little vampire tap fuse, and it works. It's lasted for 9 years, but I don't like this. And then I had it routed right through this little vamp. I mean, at least I did a clean install with the aftermarket one. And thankfully, unlike the aftermarket one, this requires no additional connections within the engine bay to keep things waterproof. Alright, the key. Where'd that key go to? Now this is what I did not like about having the aftermarket one. It's powered just by using a little vampire tap fuse, and it works. It's lasted for 9 years, but I don't like this. And then I had it routed right through this little grommet over here. Oh, this came from just behind the intercooler. Might as well make my life easier to take the intercooler cover off. There. It's all out. This will be slightly different since my vehicle's not right-hand drive, so it means I don't have to go as far along the top of the firewall. Close underneath this wire. Remove this tape. Make a slight trim. Okay, plastic separated. Fill this gap. Now replicate how Subaru had it right here. The hole isn't centered, but I don't want to make another hole. This hole isn't centered. That's just stupid. So a firewall grommet can keep my magic intercooler off and get it back up. So it's something here to do zip ties the intercooler out of the way. Alright, back on. how I lose flashlights. I just realized I use the translate app on my phone. It'll scan the image into English, so I was able to see how to install this. Number 1, black, number 2. Okay, so I double that up, like it says to. I love that this installation is well engineered, thought out. I would imagine this is gonna get relocated once I put a clutch pedal in here. I'll worry about that when that time comes. Goes in like that. Now this harness goes right here. This guy is for an optional switch if I want to run one. So that's going to go up here. This is the fuse. That needs to go over here by the fuse box. I only have 2 wires left to hook up, but those go behind here. This part scares the crap out of me because when I installed this 10 unit, I swore if I ever took this part in, the shell would shatter. It's so tight how it fits in here. Got it. You have to be so careful you don't flex and crack that screen. God, I'm so pale. I really don't want to have to do all this wire, but I don't want to take chances. This is the final part. It's a Subaru harness that was included with it. It has auxiliary taps for the lights, so it is powered and used correctly. Please don't go down there. 4 hours later. This does not exist on a left-hand drive Forester. This plug is the same on either one of those, so you can do it in line on the harness on the vehicle, and then you can hook easier to do the zip ties. It's adjustment, moving these guys down here. That way you don't see it through the opening of the grille. Luckily, at these market Forester SJG, known as the accessory liner LED. I mean, look at that wiring. It even has the genuine foam on it. That's how you know it's good stuff. A little bit of all-purpose cleaner. Scrub down the side here. But how did a bug get behind that? Tech tip: if you're buying parts for your vehicle to change and enhance the appearance, keyword enhance, a little bit of quick detail spray, and you don't clean and detail around those parts when you install them, what's the point? Clean. Genuine Subaru part versus cheap knockoff. There's a huge difference in the quality between the genuine Subaru one and the knockoff aftermarket one. Massive difference in quality. This looks more like the OEM bezel that was there in the bumper from the factory. Yeah. Oh, that looks so much better. The genuine Subaru ones are held in with actual metal brackets. I've always been conflicted with buying replicas of expensive parts because I feel you're taking sales away from the companies that put a lot of engineering and effort into making those higher quality original components. Even though this is a genuine Subaru part, it didn't come with any instructions. Not that it would help anyway because I can't read Japanese. But I do have digital instructions on the interwebs. Subaru even has prescribed routing and locations for the zip ties. Take off the aftermarket one. So if I do this, oh, it's got bends strategically. Aha! Tie right here.
Action stations.
Make sure this is nice and clean. Stick one of these in the middle. These things just hold zip ties. They're like a zip tie bridge. Don't worry. Make it smooth. Nice clean routing because that's a Subaru part for a Subaru. That's actually the lower piece behind the beam. Slight adjustment, moving these guys down here. That way you don't see it through the opening of the grille. I had extra because Subaru engineers understand sticky things stick to things that aren't meant to be stuck to. Yeah, there you go. I can't see it. Had I left those where I did, you would have been able to see them if you looked through this slot, which is, yeah. I need to order some genuine Subaru clipper noodles. They're getting kind of tired. And the most satisfying part, putting these little brand new bezels on. Yeah. There you go. Now the second day of this video, and I got some more stuff to do on the inside.
ship is on fire.
I did a completely install an aftermarket one, and thankfully, unlike the aftermarket one, this requires no additional connections within the engine bay to keep things waterproof.
I have a key. Where'd that key go to?
Now, this is what I did not like about having the aftermarket one. It's powered just by using a little vampire tap.
Problem solved, sir.
It works. It's lasted for 9 years, but I don't like this. And then I had this grommet right through this little grommet over here. Oh, this came from just behind the intercooler. That'll make my life easier taking your flare cover on. There. Oh wow. This will be slightly different since my vehicle's not right-hand drive. I don't have to go as far along the top of the firewall. Goes underneath this wire. Move this tape. Make a slight trim. Okay, plastic separated. Fill this gap. Now replicate how Subaru had it right here. The hole isn't centered, but I don't want to make another hole just because this hole isn't centered. That's just stupid. So with the firewall grommet, you keep my... I take the intercooler off, just get it pushed back down. First, let's make it way easier to do the zip ties with the intercooler out of the way. Nice. Back on. Mission complete. Engine bay is done. This is how I lose plug lights. I just realized I can use the translate app on my phone and it'll scan the image into English so I can be able to see how to install this. That is number 1, block number 2. Okay, so I double that up like it says to. I love that this installation as well as engineered thought out. I would imagine this is going to get relocated once I put a clutch pedal in here. I'll worry about that when that time comes. Goes in like that. Now this harness goes right to here. This guy is for an optional switch, so I want to run one. So that's going to go up here. This is the fuse. That needs to go over here by the fuse box. I only have 2 wires left to hook up, but those go behind here. This part scares the crap out of me because when I installed this head unit, I swore if I ever took this apart again, this lens would shatter. It's so tight how it fits in here. Got it. You have to be so careful you don't flex and crack that screen. God. I'm so pale. I really got it. You have to be so careful you don't flex and crack that screen. God. I'm so pale. I really didn't want to have to do all this. Flex and crack that screen. God. I'm so pale. I really didn't want to have to do all this. Just flex and crack that screen. God. I'm so pale. I really didn't want to have to do all this just for 2 wires, but I don't want to take chances. Flex and crack that screen. God. I'm so pale. I really didn't want to have to do all this just for 2 wires, but I don't want to take chances. This is the final part. It's a Subaru harness that was included with it, and it has auxiliary taps for the lights, so that way it's powered and fused correctly. Don't go down there. 4 hours later. This does not exist on a left-hand drive Forester. This plug is the same. Please don't go down there. 4 hours later. This does not exist on a left-hand drive Forester. This plug is the same on either one of those, so you can do it in line on the harness on the vehicle, and then you can hook up genuine Subaru accessories. It has to be right-hand drive only because I can't find that anywhere under that dash. Hello?
I can't see on this thing. It's just like, I got lucky and I got off early. So I went home and I said, oh, look, she's on. So I turned the film on where you gave it away, and I was just kind of sitting there. I thought stuff, and I thought, yeah, that's a really neat car. I remember those when I grew up.
Yeah.
It's really engaging.
So that was Jay, the winner of the Celica Supra, and the car has made it safe and sound to its new home. So that's good. We'll have to date number 3. More parts. Whilst I have the dash tour part, I've been waiting to put this on. Once again, it's another genuine Subaru part. This guy should pull out, and then no one will be pregnant. There we go.
F-Pace. Intuitive technology, intelligent all-wheel drive, and the performance of the Jaguar.
This fantasy football game has 500,000 up for grabs. Footballers like Griezmann, Frenkie de Jong and Dembele will be playing. So Rare is a game that I've played for over 3 years, and they've announced their biggest prize pool yet. From the end of November, they're putting an extra $50,000 in the prize pool every single weekend until February. And you can even win VIP football tickets and signed jerseys. To get involved, sign up using the link in my channel. You'll get £20 credit to spend on cards, and I'll get a little too.
There, multifunction display out. I could probably upgrade this. I could probably take the one from the 2021, the last year of the STI, and I'd probably swap into this. I wonder if it has the software preloaded on it. While I was editing this, I did look it up, and yes, the newer MFDs are interchangeable with these older ones, and the software is preloaded on them. They just literally plug and play. But the question is it just going to seem gimmicky and outdated 10 years from now again anyway? Sure, technology is so much more advanced, unless the world ends. So, hard plastic? Journalists will complain about that. Leather, soft, padded. Well, this one fits a lot tighter. Some of you might have noticed that this has gray stitching and not red like the STI interior. However, if you look at the pictures of the Forester STI TS interior, the MFD had gray stitching on these from the factory. And that's because Subaru did use a contrast gray stitch throughout the STI interior, even on these upgraded Recaro beams. Oh, that's so much better. So much better. Where's the wet spot? This is the factory plug-and-play solution for a USDM Forester to be able to make those JDM accessory lights in the front work. Because I lack that plug on the dash harness, what I do have is this plug. And those two front lights only draw 2.2 watts. That's like nothing. So, absolutely perfect solution. Yeah, factory harness, which will solve the problem. And also, why not? It's a factory part. And then this harness plugs directly into my hazard light. Bada bing, bada boom. And this goes down under the footwell. Not right down there. Perfect. This is sweet. This guy literally just bolts directly in. Like, plug and play. This is awesome. Engraved under the dash, it says FML. I thought that. Oh! And this guy. There you go. Good. The only part of this that is not plug and play is I'm combining the two circuits for the front bumper LED accessory lights to the under footwell illumination circuit via the power and ground at the plug where it goes into the driver's side. I did this as close to the factory as possible with soldering the two powers and two grounds and combining them into the same plug. Wrap the foam around the plugs down there so nothing rattles under the dash. Ouch. There. All I gotta do is discount the wires. It's nice and tidy, but that fits nicely into place. It holds right in. But I gotta wrap the foam around the ones that are kind of huge plugs before the pad in. That's rattling. Alright, now you have to put my glove box back together. HVAC vent back together. Passenger side is surrounded right here underneath that little recessed area behind the panel. Battery backup. Let's give this a shot. I didn't put the optional boxes and stuff that I came with. I just wanted to roll a whole dash. I'm gonna buy an extra OEM Subaru fog light switch and wire that up and do that. They're not on. My footwell illumination worked. That's good. So I got 12 volts going to the fuse, but I don't have the optional switch hooked up. So I'm wondering if I'm not getting power going to the lights. That word optional might be lost in translation. installation. Because I don't think might not complete the circuit without this in there. Well, it's plugged in now, it's off, so it's a normally open circuit. If I close this, she'll have potential, yep. So Subaru included that switch for a reason. It's not an option. I just don't want to put a hole in my dash, so I'm going to knock out one of these blanks and put it in one of those blanks. My theory's right, these lights should turn on now. They're on! Yes! Oh, that looks so much better! There are some of you that probably wouldn't even notice the difference of what I just did today. I'm saying some because a vast majority of you that are subscribed to this channel, I've noticed, have a sharp attention to detail and appreciate these finer things that I'm trying to do, which I feel set a vehicle build apart from all the others. I use that term build with air quotes because that is a very loose term on the internet these days with modifying cars. But it was worth it in my eyes. Just that little subtle touch of difference. You can see the Kelvin rating, the color temp on the factory Boomerang. It's probably about 4,300. And then you go down here, like it matches perfectly. It looks OEM and crisp and clean. Doesn't have that blue tint that looks cheap and aftermarket to it, like 5,000, 6,000 Kelvin. It's also not overpowering. It doesn't stand out brighter than the Boomerang. And yeah, it's just subtle. The hazard light circuit only illuminates when your interior lights, all the buttons and the gauge cluster and your parking lights come on. So now these should turn off when I turn off my headlights. Yep, they do. Good. Good. Wow, the footwell looks so much brighter on camera. I don't know why that looks so bright on my camera screen and probably on what you're watching. It doesn't look nearly as bright in person. That's wild. It's just a subtle amount of light and it matches the interior color perfectly in here. Matches the gauge cluster and all the buttons. I recorded a car review this morning on top of doing this today. So I filmed 2 videos today. I have one more thing I want to install, but I also just ordered like a ton more parts from Japan for this thing. So there'll be a 3rd installment. And then eventually, once the Celica is done, I'll do the manual swap and Forester Gap. But thank you guys for watching. I'll see you soon with another video. Bye. I will draw the line against the grain so you might not take it too wrong. I will stay awake all night.
煙出るよ煙不気味こっから全速力で進むからね
This Black Friday, we're staying big. Plus, there's 4 5 $24.99 a month. No activation fee. Great value like always. That's a plus.
on giveaway to one of you. Today's objective, I have a trash can of doom full of dry ice, and I know how to use it. Now, I don't know about you, but it's kind of nonsensical to spend a lot of effort cleaning one thing only to make something else even more dirty. So, with that said, I'm constructing a Dexter's laboratory around the car to help keep the shop clean. My design has improved a bit. This time it will allow light in, but also not blow around as easy with the compressed air. The vast majority of you have probably already seen the underside of this car when I did the manual transmission swap on it, but just to catch you up, when I manual swapped the car, I scrubbed and degreased all up here in the top of the transmission tunnel, so that's already clean. Also, the transmission cross member has been freshly repainted, as has the drive shaft and the limited slip differential.
Los geht's, wir machen das! Oha, schau! Wir haben den Gegner gefunden! Hey, fahr zurück! Die beobachten uns! Unser Motor ist kaputt. Alle Geschütze auf das Ding, ding, ding. Feueralarm. Haben uns. Vorbei mit dem Ei. Stasiun pertempuran. mesin diaktifkan. Vivu, vivu. Demi kritikal pada turret utama. Aduh, kita hancur nih, hancur.